Hey everybody, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. It's been a while since I put up a video. Been busy working, living life, you know how it is. But today's video is another Keiser Report. They are opening up people's eyes to what's going on with the banker buybacks and the corporate buybacks, and the banks basically lending the money, and not enough regulation as usual in this beautiful world that we live in. Sorry about the background music, about the background sounds. I'm actually at the airport waiting to fly out, but I wanted to get this video out to you before I get on the plane. So as you can see, it is they're just buying their own stock by borrowing money off the banks, and then telling you that they're doing a stock buyback, and as soon as the prices go up, they sell off. So it's just another part of the manipulating way, another way that they manipulate the money system and the banking system, and make sure that they get what they need, which their money. They just want their money. That's all it is. Money and power. Money and power. The reason I watch this report is because he is so animated. They both are animated in this video. It actually is wonderful. Oh, damn it. Sorry about that background music. Yeah, you can hear. It's not my plane I have to catch, but somebody is getting on a plane right now. Anyway, as I was saying, I am Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. Take care. Remember, subscribe, like, share. And Stacy, just stick around. Stacy really is losing it. I haven't seen her so animated in an interview for a long time. It's great to see. But they've got all the answers and they understand what's going on. Bye now.
Oh, hello there. My name is Max Keiser. This is the Keiser Report, the show that bars no holds. Holds are no barred. What about Roseanne Barr? I don't know. Stacy.
Well, you seem to have lost your mind, but you know what? So has the U.S. in general, so maybe you've been spending too much time there. I have a headline here from CNN that we haven't been able to cover while we've been here because, we've had other stuff, but I love this headline as well. Peter Navarro says there's a special place in hell for Justin Trudeau. That is our chief trade negotiator for Donald Trump, so it is quite interesting to call an ally. There's a special place in hell for him, and I don't know if that was because of his eyebrow falling down his face, but Peter Navarro has apologized for this since then. But
yeah, I'm not sure what the big problem is with the Canadians. I mean, we get the maple syrup, and we get the hockey players, and they get the tar sands. I tell you what, stop sending tar sands to America, and I'll be happy about that, because it's extremely dangerous for people's health.
I think Justin Trudeau did some sort of special tar sands deal just recently as well, but nobody pays attention to them because Trump is everything, right? But that's what everybody's paying attention to. But I want to turn to another story that I promised we would cover. In the last episode, I said we would cover this, and this is finally SEC frets about share buybacks. Quote, torrent of corporate trading dominating the market and short-term financial engineering. Right after the company tells the market the stock is cheap, executives overwhelmingly decide to sell. That's the headline, and this is from wallstreet.com, but he's talking about an SEC study, and they find that basically all these companies are doing is they announce that they're going to do a share buyback. That sends stocks soaring. And you know what happens? The insiders dump all their shares. Five-fold increase from the week before. They'll start dumping their shares. And some of them don't even do the share buybacks because they don't have to. All they're interested in is cashing out.
So it's a massive market manipulation. Stock market manipulation by insiders, aided and abetted by regulators like the SEC. All the SEC is doing here is CY. You can look up on Urban Dictionary what that means. All they're trying to do is cover their tracks so that when the lawsuits happen, they can say, oh, we were aware of it, we warned against it, we're on top of it, but they are aiding and abetting. The regulators are captured, the regulators are venal, the regulators get payoffs. Okay, they get money from these guys, and then they go, in the form of, they leave the government job, they get a job in the private sector, and they get the big payoff. It's highly corrupt, isn't it? Like we've been saying for years. And they're taking it all private, and what's left is neo-feudalism. And tar sands.
So they announced a share buyback to happen, and the study found of these 385 companies that they looked at that had announced share buybacks, they found abnormal returns those 30 days afterward. That's when the executives start selling their shares. So in fact, twice as many companies have insiders selling in the 8 days after a buyback announcement as sell on an ordinary day. So right after the company tells the market that the stock is cheap, executives overwhelmingly decide to sell, explained SEC Commissioner Robert Jackson Jr., appointed by President Trump and sworn in earlier this year. They tell the market, our share price is so cheap that we think the best use of our money is to buy back those shares because they're so cheap. Well, then the executives start dumping it. So the same executives who said the share price is cheap to the market are dumping their shares.
Right, and the money that they use to buy back their shares is borrowed money from essentially the Fed, ultimately, that charges them nothing to borrow that money. So you're literally printing money in the form of the stock option appreciation that goes up as the share price is bought back, and you are taking capital out of the economy, and then there's nothing left for basic services like healthcare. So you have millions of heroin addicts popping up all over America because this rentier guys at the top are just raking all this money out of the economy with the help of the regulators. The SEC is participating in this. The problem with crypto is that they're not paying the SEC enough bribe money. Hopefully that'll change soon enough.
He points out that this isn't necessarily illegal, but he wonders whether or not it's good for America. And he says,
it's not, right.
On too many occasions, companies doing buybacks have failed to make the long-term investments in innovation or their workforce that our economy so badly needs. And because we at the SEC have not reviewed our rules governing stock buybacks in over a decade, I worry whether these rules can protect investors, workers, and communities from the torrent of corporate trading dominating today's markets.
What's the holdup? They haven't reviewed the rules in a decade? What are you doing? Here's $5, okay? Jay Clayton, here's $5. Can you please rig the market for me too? You greedy little punk.
They're concern trolling. They're saying, hey, share executives, we're a little bit concerned that we might have to regulate you if you stop making it so obvious.
We need more payoff. We need more bribe. We're going to regulate you, Wall Street, unless you give us more bags of money. I'm too stupid to get a job at Goldman Sachs, so I had to be a regulator. And now, unless you give me another bag of money, I'm going to regulate you, says Jay and all the other regulators.
So then he goes on to say, executives often claim that a buyback is the right long-term strategy for the company, and they're not always wrong. But if that's the case, they should want to hold the stock over the long run, not cash it out once a buyback is announced. If corporate managers believe that buybacks are indeed best for the company, its workers, and its community, they should put their money where their mouth is. So that's not going to happen, and we've covered that. It's obviously corrupt. We've pointed it out, and perhaps that's why the SEC is saying, hey, executives, watch out. Obviously, CNBC is not covering this fact. They're not pointing out that this is corrupt and venal, and a special place in hell should be reserved for you, just like with sitting alongside Justin Trudeau. No, the Keiser Report on RT, they're pointing this out, and we're going to be in trouble. People are complaining to us. Americans all across the country should call the SEC today and let them know that they're concerned about all these share buybacks and that the company executives are cashing out at the expense of the economy.
Hell doesn't exist anymore because it bought back all of its shares and it's been taken private by Jay Clayton and the SEC. So it's like, Catholicism wouldn't exist unless there was hell to go with heaven. Mm-hmm. Capitalism shouldn't exist unless there's a penalty for committing crimes. So the SEC is saying, this is a special economy. If you commit massive fraud, there's no crime, there's no criminal prosecution for you. As the former Attorney General of America said,
Eric
Holder. He said, these banks are above the law. And we questioned him. I asked him this directly in the airport in Washington. I said, do you still agree that there's no law that applies to bankers? And he's like, duh, I'm Eric Holder. I might run for president. The guy should be flayed. Bring back flaying, back in the medieval times.
Let's go on to another
skin
story.
Right off.
As you can see, he is extremely animated in this video. Again, I'm sorry about the background noise. I am at the airport, but I will leave a link so you can watch the whole 25-minute report. It's not just about the bankers and the buybacks. It's about government scamming. Here we go, scamming. He doesn't like the UK government. He's up against the Canadian government. I love it. Okay, so enjoy. My name is Brett Slater. This is The Secret to Money. There is no secret. There is no secret. Anyway, Take care. Remember, subscribe, share and like, and leave a comment. Bye now.
Shut up and sit down.